Hi everyone, welcome to Good for the Game TV and our preview of the season-ending Tour Championship. That's the last leg of the FedExCup playoff race. It takes place at the East Lake Golf Club in Atlanta, Georgia. So we've got the top 30 players in the FedExCup that are now vying for the title. All of them have got some sort of a mathematical chance of winning, but the top 5 do have the destiny in their own hands. I'm ready for a working day, but thought I'd quickly get going with a bit of a preview first because I'm quite excited about this event. I always enjoy it when the big boys come up against each other, and there's certainly plenty on the line. Let's start off just looking at a couple of sites that you might find useful. There's an article on the PGA Tour website, which basically takes you through the scenarios of each player, what they have to do to win the FedExCup. And obviously, you've got the top 5, DeChambeau, Rose, Finau, Johnson, and Thomas, who incidentally is the defending champion. Any of them can win the tournament, they will win the FedExCup. But those below need certain things to happen, and all the permutations are in this article, which is quite useful. Just another useful article while we're on the PGA Tour website. Every week, Rob Bolton does his power rankings, and I find this very useful when formulating my betting strategy. He normally covers the top 15 or 20 guys in the field, and he ranks them according to various rating systems that he's got. Here he's actually gone through all 30 players, and if we skim right down there, we'll see that his top 3 are Rose, Thomas, and Koepka. And I will tell you that it is a coincidence, but you're going to see a couple of those players certainly in my staking plan. Let's take a look then at the betting on this event, and I'm going to use BetExchange's website for this. Their golf betting is very, very strong. They tend to be a point or so better, particularly in the win markets, above some of the other bookmakers. So I'm just going to search for the Tour Championship, and let's bring up the outright markets at this point. And here we have the winner market over here on the right hand side. We've got Justin Rose at 9-1. Rose was second in the BMW Championship, his second successive run-up finish, in fact. A bit disappointing the way he finished. He did look at one point as though he was going to get the better of Keegan Bradley, but had a disappointing final hole and then lost in a playoff. And he's 9-1. He is number 1 in the world now. You've got Rory McIlroy 9-1. McIlroy just seems to be lacking that finishing killer instinct at the moment, so I'm not on him this week. Dustin Johnson as well. He just hasn't been at his best, although he has been hovering around. Tiger Woods has been a bit of a money horse this week. There was some 15-1 earlier in the week. He's into 12-1 now. Brooks Koepka, he's been very consistent of late, 14-1. You've got Justin Thomas. There is news about that he's had a bit of a wrist injury. He says it's not going to affect him, but the moment you see on Twitter that a guy's got an injury, people start reacting, and I suspect that the bookmakers are going to push his price out further. And you can get 20-1 about a 2-time playoff winner already this season, DeChambeau, and 22-1 and better the field. Let's go on to another couple of websites quickly that I can highly recommend. The betting.betfair golf previews. We're not allowed to bet on Betfair in South Africa, but we can read their previews. And Steve Rawlings, aka the punter, he does a comprehensive preview looking at tour history, the course details, what's required, what type of player, length. Maybe not as important here as at some other courses, but you want to find the greens, and you want to be putting well and scrambling well in the cases that you're not finding those greens. They even look at things as comparisons with other golf courses. They look at who designed the course. They really go into the sort of detail. And someone like myself, who's more a rugby punter who enjoys a bit of golf, certainly can't go into that information on their own. So really well worth a read, these type of previews. He goes through the market leaders and ultimately shares his selections at the bottom there as well. Where then is my money going this week? Well, I want to pop over to another site, the betting.betfair page, and that is the form book. Let's start with recent weeks. In my first selection, he's right on top of the boards at what did I say? Rose was? Or was he 9-1? I think it might have shortened slightly since I looked last night. So Justin Rose, he's had a couple of runner-up finishes. He really is in exceptional form. And let's have a look at his course form as well. He's also very, very strong at East Lake. He was 10th last year, and prior to that had a couple of runner-up finishes. So I make Rose a really big runner this week indeed. And he's the first guy on my staking plan. I'm just going win only on Justin Rose at 9-1. I'm going to swerve Dustin Johnson, who's been very, very consistent, but hasn't won for a while now. Brooks Koepka, he's faded out slightly over the last few weeks, still very, very strong. And he is a man for the big occasion, as he's proved in the majors. And I think Koepka's going to benefit from that week off. I just got the feeling he was getting a little bit tired, and he could have refocused and be ready to go. And I'm a little bit surprised to be getting 15 to 1 about Brooks Koepka, and he's the second player I'm on this week. I'm going win only here, guys. You can get each way odds, but really in a tournament of 30 players, I'm interested in going for the jugular. So I'm looking Rose win only at 9 to 1 and Koepka win only at 15 to 1. You can go onto this page and you can have a look down. It shows you all the guys who are in form. You'll see like Cameron Smith's had a couple of third place finishes in the playoffs before a poor BMW. And then you've got Billy Horschel, who's had a couple of third-place finishes as well. And he is, I can tell you, also a past champion at this course. So he has course form, although I think he hasn't played. And we'll just check here. He hasn't played since something like 2014, if I look at the column. Yep, 2014 is when he won it. So he's only played it twice, and he's done well. So he'll have plenty of support. He, if I'm not mistaken, is around the 30 to 1 mark. Where is Billy Horschel? Yeah, 28 to 1. So he'll have a little bit of support there. But that's my 2 outright bets. Let's have a look now. I'm going to now look for the match play markets. Just having a look here. I'm in the outright section at the moment. Perhaps the easiest is to go to golf. Where is golf? There we go. And I'll go to all the Tour Championship markets on the FedExCup page. And here we have the 72-hole match plays. Now, I was looking for Koepka, but he's paired against Justin Thomas, who was actually one of my original fancies. I've just gone off him and replaced him with Rose because of the news of the wrist, which may, of course, prove to be a big error on my part. But I'm going to skip that one. And the bet I like, in fact, is Justin Rose over Dustin Johnson at 8 to 10. And I'm sounding a bit hesitant here because not a few minutes ago, you know what? I'm looking in the wrong section. I was pretty worried about this. This is 18-hole matchups. Let me go to the 72-hole match betting. A great lesson to be learned there. Be careful before you place your bet. But yes, Koepka and Thomas were paired together, so they're 9 to 10 the pair. The bet I like here is Justin Rose over Rory McIlroy. That's at 9 to 10. So yeah, just be careful you don't do what I do and think you're placing a 72-hole bet and actually place it over 18 holes. So let's just go to a summary of my punts then. We have a look at my Tour Championship staking plan. I've got 3 units, Koepka win at 15 to 1. 2 units, Rose win at 10 to 1. And I've got my 72-hole match bet, which if it arrives, will pretty much cover my stake on the win. And that's 5 units, Rose over McIlroy at 9 to 10. You can see it's quite an aggressive strategy if you think that, 3 units on a 15 to 1 and only 5 units on a 9 to 10. But I am at that stage of the season where I like to have a real go in the golf, and I've been on a bit of a decent run of late as well. Let's stop sharing the screen for a second and finish off. Thanks for joining us on this preview. The BMW should be a good one. Just stay close to our YouTube channel. We're going to be having a big Ryder Cup preview over the coming days as well. I'll get a couple of golf experts on the show to talk us through that. You can subscribe at the bottom of this video. And also, during the balance of the week, plenty to look forward to. We've got GG Gaming Gone Mad. That's at 8:30 on Thursday night. We go live there. You'll want to watch that program live. There are some specials and competitions there for live watchers. We go straight into our flagship rugby show, The Handicap, at 9 o'clock, where I'll be joined by a team of punters. And then at 10 o'clock, we'll have a look at the football card for the weekend, the English Premier League and the PSL. And Chris Sturdy from Good for the Game will be joining me there. Enjoy the golf, and let's hope we can make those bookies pay.